Jeremiah, the 29th chapter, it records, and the word of the Lord is sent via letter from Jeremiah to the elders. And the letter gives instructions to those that God has placed in captivity. I want you to realize that the letter was given instructions to those that God had placed in captivity. And so he gives instructions like build houses while you're in captivity. He says plant and eat whatever it is that you planted. He says take husbands for your daughters so that you can increase while you're in captivity. He says to them, find a place of peace in the land and dwell there. And in that place, he says, pray to the Lord for peace. It tells them not to listen to the false prophets and don't pay attention to their dreams. He said, don't listen to the false prophets and don't pay attention to your own dreams because they deceive you. I want to pick up the text in Jeremiah, the 29th chapter at the 10th verse. It says, for thus said the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you, and causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think of toward you, said the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give an expected end. Thank you, ministers of music. I want to minister today using as a topic waiting with expectancy. For I know the thoughts that I have, that I think towards you, said the Lord. Thoughts of peace. Because I don't know about nobody else, but the first thing the enemy tries to do is mess with your peace. And not of evil. Because when he starts messing with your peace, all type of things start happening in your mind. And most of the time, the things you start thinking about are always evil things. And he says to give you an expected end. And so once again, I want to minister using as a topic today, waiting with expectancy. And throughout life, we will find ourselves having to wait. Waiting can be one of the most frustrating things you have to go through. When you're waiting on others, but you yourself are already ready. When you're waiting on others and you're already ready, that's even more frustrating. If you ever had to wait on somebody to pick you up, God, I feel something, and you've been ready for over an hour already, and you call them to see where they're at, and they don't say that they're outside. Oh, I'll even put it in reverse for a minute. If you ever went to pick somebody up, and when you get there, you blow your horn, and they don't come out. And so then you call them to check on what is it that you're doing, because I'm here waiting on you. And so whenever you had to watch this, wait on somebody to pick you up, when you call them, it gets even more frustrating because they don't say, I'm round the corner, I'm outside. They say, I'm leaving now. God, I feel something already. And the Lord says to the people, he says, while you're waiting on me, he says, do whatever I told you to do. Do what I tell you to do, and don't listen to anyone who says they have a word for you. God, I feel something in here. And see, this is very important, eternal life, that you realize that when you're waiting on God, follow his instructions. Because while you're waiting on him, it can get very frustrating, mama. But I come to tell you that while you're waiting on him, don't listen to every wind and doctrine that comes your way. Because I told my wife the other day, I said, God, don't do that much talking. And it kills me when every time I turn on the internet, somebody always saying they got a word from God. God, let me tell you something. Unless you sitting at the right hand of the Father, he ain't speaking to you every day. He says, when you're waiting on me, he says, I want you to obey the instructions that I give you. And I don't want you to listen to everybody who says they have a word from me for you. He says, I don't want you to listen to stuff that don't line up with what I told you. And he says, but what makes this even harder to bear is that the situation that you're in, God put you there. And see, we like to blame everything on the devil. But God put them into captivity. Sometimes God got to put you in timeout. I wish I had a praise you right there. See, some of you think you've been good all your life. And sometimes it's what you did that God put you in timeout. And he said, wait a minute, if you couldn't, watch this, if you couldn't enjoy what I was giving you just for being my child, I'm going to put you in timeout for a minute. Oh, my mule, I'll tell you when to catch me. And I come to tell you that some of you have to wait for the instructions of God because you're in timeout right now. And see, when God puts you in timeout, it's important that you don't try to hurry your way out of it. Sometimes you got to sit there a while and do those days, watch this, and do those nights that God has put you in that position because of something that you did. He's trying to get your attention that you won't do that no more. See, the thing about when you get in trouble as a child, the first thing you scream is that I'm not going to do it no more. And if they hurry up and take you out of punishment, you will do it again. Oh, I feel the glory of God in here. And see, sometimes because of our love for our children, our love for our loved ones, we put them out of time out too quick. And God said, I'm putting you in captivity and you got to listen to my instructions while you're in captivity. But don't worry, you still going to prosper. God, I wish I had something. Because everything connected to God will grow. So even if I'm in the prison cell, I'm still prospering. Even if I'm in the projects, I'm still prospering. Even if I'm in a one-bedroom, I wish I had a praiser in here. One-bedroom apartment, I'm still prospering. He'll go increase. God will enlarge my territory. Still make me, watch this, the head and not the tail, the lender and not the borrower. Show me how to use my hands to plant so that I can eat off my own food. I ain't got to beg. I've never seen the righteous forsaken or their seed begging bread. If you just listen to God. I said I want to said what makes it even harder is when you're in a situation that God placed you in. And watch this. So you mean to tell me, God, the reason that I'm in this is because of you? And watch this. And now that I'm in this thing, you only want me to listen to your instructions. You don't want me to listen to nobody else. And watch this. I have to wait till you get me out. Well, what do you say? Some of you are waiting for your husband to bail you out. Some of you are waiting for your wives to get you out. Some of you are waiting for your best friend to give you an encouraging word that's going to get you out. But when God puts you in something, you got to wait there till he comes to get you out. And I ain't got much serious. I ain't got nobody that can bail me out. So I come to tell you, no matter what you're going through, do what God says while you're going through it. And even in the midst of where you are, there's a place of peace. Go back and read the scripture. I come to tell you, you have to find that place. Even in captivity, he said there's a part of that land that is peaceful, and you got to find that place. In other words, while you're in captivity, while God puts you in timeout, you got to find a room in your house where it's just you and God. You can find peace in that place. Find peace in that place, and go seek God in that place. All kind of stuff going around. He says find peace. I'm in 1 Peter. You don't have to go there, but you can write it down for reference. 1 Peter, watch this, 5. I'm going to read it from the NIV version. 1 Peter 5, beginning at the 6th verse. It says, humble yourselves. Because what I come to realize is some of us act like, why am I going through this? And so you made yourself even greater than Jesus, because he had to go through some stuff that you never will have to experience. And the first thing you need to do when you're going through something is humble yourself. That's right. 1 Peter 5 and 6 says, humble yourselves therefore under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you. So in due time means that when God says it's time, not when you think it should happen, not because you feel like giving up, God should rescue you. But the timing of God is always the right timing. If I had time to give a testimony service, I'm pretty sure that everyone that comes up here and grabs the mic will testify that God has always shown up on time. And not only showed up on time for them, but he showed up at the right time. Come here, nephew. The Bible says that then you had to wait 21 days. But guess what? God showed up for him. The Bible says that my cousins, the children of Israel, it was 70 years that God didn't want to take them out of the place that they were in, but God showed up for them. Come here, Lazarus, because there's some folks in here that you've been pronounced dead. Your dreams and your aspirations have been pronounced dead. But guess what? God showed up in due time. I can ask someone, what is it then are you expecting? I'm expecting, watch this, to wait on the Lord with expectancy. I'm expecting God to show up in the right time. And I'm expecting God to show up and do it for me. What are you expecting? Because sometimes some of us say that we trust God, we believe God, but we talk about the don'ts, the things that we don't have, more than we talk about how God is able to do it. He's not able just to do it, but he's able to do anything and everything. He's able to do what he said that he would do. And he's going to fulfill, watch this, every promise he made to you. The question, I know they're still in the quarantine, so you ain't got to say it to them, but just look at your neighbor or this person next to you. Look at them eyeball to eyeball and say, what are you expecting? I said, y'all so hard-headed, you ain't got to say it outwardly, but just look at them and be like, what are you expecting? That might be the wrong person. So look at somebody else and say, what are you expecting? What are you expecting? Because if you're not expecting nothing, you won't receive nothing. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm expecting, watch this, God to do great things in my life. Oh God. But the thing that God showed me is that when you're expecting things from people, it's even more frustrating. Yes, God. It is. Oh God, I feel so. I get more frustrated when I'm expecting stuff from others that know what they're supposed to do, but they don't do it. That's more frustrating. And so what that means is that when you expect others to do for you, it's more frustrating for you. All right. He says, humble yourselves therefore under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Cast your anxieties on Jesus because he cares for you. The first thing he tells us is he's going to do it. But it's going to be on his time. And then he realized that waiting on others will cause you anxiety. So he then says, because you're waiting on me, and I know I'm going to do it in my timing. He says, because you're waiting on me to do it and to come through for you, I want you to give me all your worries while you're waiting on me. Oh God, I feel that. Because you're waiting on me to do it, I want you to give me your worries, and I want you to understand that waiting on me, you just got to be patient with me just like I'm patient with you. Because there's a lot of things that God been waiting for you to do that you told him you was going to do the last time he built you out. But yet you still, watch this, yet you still haven't done it yet. So I come to tell you, God, I thank you. That there's some things in your life that you're waiting on God to do for you. But he said in return, there's some things that I'm waiting on you to do. Because there's some things that you told me that you was going to do 5 years ago. And the ministry that I put in you is still hasn't started yet. There's some things that you told me to do when you was crying and mama couldn't help you and daddy couldn't help you, that you said that you was going to do, that I'm still waiting for you to do. There's some folks that were at the altar just a month ago, just a year ago, and promised God that if you get me out of this thing, I promise I won't do it again. But yet you still doing it. And he said, I want you to have the same patience with me that I've had with you.
Yes, God.
Yeah.
Yes, God. Yes, Jesus.
Oh, after you pray about it, it's a good time to say, tell your neighbor again. Tell your neighbor, say, after you pray about it, don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
It's up to you. I can feel comfortable with you, whatever. But if you want to give it to me, come on, nephew. Hey, God, I feel I want Apostle Snell's anointing. Bring me that one. Because I might start acting like I'm Baptist with that mic. I want to get out of my character and make a fool of myself. That mic right there is anointed to be Baptist. It can harmonize. And it can break out in a church shout. And it can sing. And so I want my mic to keep me in, watch this, in my zone. And do what I do. Hey, I'm glad I got that church face off of some of y'all. So watch this. What was I? We're going to say it again. Tell somebody that after you pray about it, because there's an expectancy. They just missed that because they looking around you. I said, tell somebody. God, I feel something right there, son. Tell somebody. Say, after you pray about it, don't worry about it, because there's an expectancy. Maybe because I touched the mic, I feel it on me now. I said, after you pray about it, don't worry about it. Look at your neighbor and say what you worried about. Don't you know there's an expectancy? Don't you know that while you at the beginning of the thing, God is already at the end of it. There's an expectancy. And so what is it? Let's get out of here. Since you already crooked the car, let's put it in reverse. I'm ready to go home. He said, I'm going to give you an expectancy. So that means that when I'm in trouble, I'm expecting God to rescue me. That means that when I'm jobless, I'm expecting God to provide for me. That means that when I'm sick, I'm expecting God to heal me. I wish I had some real praises in here. That means that when I'm tired, I'm expecting God to give me rest. That means that when I'm weak, I'm expecting God to be my strength. Because when I'm weak, that's when He's strong. That means when listen right there. That in due time, God's going to show up on your behalf. In due time, God's going to show up on your loved one's behalf. In due time, God's going to show up on your family behalf. In due time, God's going to show up on eternal life's behalf. I come to tell you that while you're waiting on God, listen to his instructions. Find you a place of peace. Don't listen to every wind and doctrine, but give God praise that he's allowing you to increase even in captivity. Give me some more low for this right now. Increase even when I'm in bondage. Increase even when people talk about me. Increase because God said, I put you in timeouts because I want to show you that I'm nothing without God. I want to show you that doors that God closed, no man can open. I put you in that position to make you over again. And you got to humble yourself and say, God, I deserve to be in this position, but I'm waiting on you to come rescue me. Is there anybody in here that'll give God praise that I'm expecting something? I'm expecting something. I'm expecting something. I'm expecting more than I have. I'm expecting more than I have. I'm expecting greater. I'm expecting greater. I'm expecting more. Give me more. I expect you to do it. I expect you to do it, God. I'm expecting. This next praise, because I'm expecting God to never have to go through this battle again. This praise is that when I come out this time, that's going to be the last time. This praise is expecting God to release me out of the hand of the enemy. This praise is that God is doing something great in my life. This praise means that God has me protected. I know the thoughts I have for you, said the Lord. I know the thoughts I have for you. I know what the enemy been saying, but you gotta expect that God's gonna give you greater. You gotta expect that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. In other words, while I'm waiting on you, God, I'm getting stronger now. I'm getting stronger now. I'm expecting God the best. I'm expecting God the best. So watch this. While I was studying, Jada, I heard the Lord say, I want you to expect the best. Watch this. He said, but in return, I'm expecting the best from you. And so when the preacher tells you to give God praise, he ain't expecting an ordinary praise. He's expecting the best praise that you ever gave him. He's expecting something greater from you and nothing less. need you to go to another place right now. Here's my worship. Take joy in it. I'm just waiting God to do something great. He said I gotta wait on him. Yeah, he said I gotta wait on him. But he made a promise that in due time I'ma show up. Even though I put you in a place where you gotta wait on me, I still got good thoughts of you. I'm about to mess somebody up right here with this revelation. When other folks cut you off, put you in timeout, you should hear what they think of you. Oh, let me rewind that back. I said when other folks put you in timeout, in other words, they cut you off, you should hear what they think of you. But God said, even while I have you in timeout, I'm still thinking good thoughts about you. Y'all just wish y'all changed the blues. Y'all just wish y'all changed the blues. I said, God said that even though I have you in timeout, I still think highly of you. Even though I got you waiting on me, I still think highly of you. Even though I got you waiting on me, patiently wait for me, I still think highly of you, said the Lord. I know you've been waiting on me. God taking you to another level. That's why he's been purging you. That's why you've been before him. You can't go to the nation how you used to be. You had to be something else. God said, I still think highly of you. Plus, we couldn't get you out of that place because I already been there. Oh God, I knew it took time for God to come take you out of that place. A place where he can just mold you. You can be like the clay and he's the potter. And he can mold you. Watch this. Because in this season of your life, God's going to take you to places that others can't go. And I come to tell you to wait on the Lord. Don't be in a hurry to get out of that place. God, teach me how to wait on you. God, who am I talking to in here? God, teach me how to praise you in the midst of me waiting on you. Teach me how to worship you in the midst of me waiting on you. Because guess what, God? I know you got something greater for me. He says, I know the thoughts I have for you. The thoughts I have for you. He said, give me your anxiety. Lord, get me out of this. Lord, stop me from having to be up all night. Lord, stop me from having to wake up early. He said, give me that stuff. Watch this. And when he said give it to me, it doesn't mean that he's taking it and removing it from you. He says give it to me. That means when you go into prayer. Anxiety may come tomorrow, but when you go into prayer tomorrow, God, it's your battle. I'm just going to praise you as if the anxiety is not trying to come over me. But I wish I had somebody in here. While I'm waiting on the Lord, every word that he spoke, I come to tell you that God is watching to see what y'all gonna do. God, I feel that right there. God is watching to see what you're gonna do while you're waiting on him to give you what he promised you. praising him because he didn't show up when you thought he should have showed up. But I come to tell you, you're going to praise him even more. Get his attention. Hey, no more second. Get God's attention. Waiting with expectancy. Waiting with expectancy. That's why I know the thoughts I have for you, that's it, praise him, cousin. The thoughts that I think towards you. Watch this. And he say, remind them earlier that when they said amen, when I said sometimes waiting on others can be real frustrating. And everybody said amen. He said, while you're waiting on me, I'm going to give you peace. It's right there. It's in the word. It's in the word of Jesus. I'm going to give you peace. But I got thoughts of peace on you and not of evil, to give you an expected end. But if you ain't expecting nothing, you won't receive nothing. But if you expect your latter days to be greater than the former, your level of praise will show that you're expecting that to happen. If you're expecting God to make your enemies your footstool, then your praise level of what you expecting God to do should be greater. If you expecting God to open up doors that was once shut, they didn't call his name, but I'm expecting God to still open that door. I wish I had some. I want everybody in eternal life to praise God right there. Because God showed me something, and he ain't never lied to me. I come to tell you that for every door that's been closed in anybody's life that's in here, if you expecting God to open it, give him praise. This was for my fellow member, God. This was for my sister, God. This was for my brother, God. This was for my mother, God. This was for my father, God. This was for my daughter, God. Every door that's been closed, I'm expecting you to open it. And even if it's locked, I expect you to have the key. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, this right here, oh God, is where I get drunk in the spirit. Hey, no more shut up. This right here is where I get a hangover. Oh, no more shut up. I said I'm expecting God to open up doors in my life that's been closed in my face. Oh, no more shut up. Is there anybody in here that has that type of faith that you can stand in front of the closed door and demand that it be open? It's where I get drunk in the spirit. Oh God, I feel it. I feel your glory. I come to tell you that God is expecting a praise from you to the level that you expect him to do miracles. Some of you don't need a blessing. What you asking God to do, a miracle gonna have to happen. But I'm expecting miracles, signs, and wonders. This is where I get drunk. This is where they think I'm crazy. Because they see my mouth moving, ain't nothing coming out. Because they see my body moving. Ain't nothing coming out. But I'm drunk in the spirit. Because I'm believing God for some promises. And the motion I've been buried. Buried. That means buried. Thank you, Lord. That means I couldn't conceive. But today God's going to put something in me that I can birth out. And the motion now. And I feel your word. There's a miracle in this room with my name on it. There's a miracle in this room. If that's not you, sit down. If that's not you, sit down. With my name on it. Someone will praise all. Watch this. A few years ago, when we first got in this building, we had unscripted worship. And we said, there's a healing in this room. Didn't know Mama's name was on it. Didn't know she was sick at that time. Y'all not just missing your chance to pray. Didn't know your name was on it, Lady T. Didn't know you were going to go through some sickness in your spirit. Oh, I'm about to go crazy now. But I remember that day, I looked over to my son, Pastor John, and I told him to say these words. I'm the miracle in this room.